All right, y'all, here we go. So today we talking about why you need to separate yourself amongst your peers, respectfully, of course, and they should respect it too. Obviously, most likely they won't. They're probably gonna talk shit and be like, what the fuck is this guy's problem and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, bro, you don't want to be allowing for any distractions in your life when you are set out to do something. All right, when you have a fucking purpose and you know your purpose, there's no reason for you to be inviting fucking distraction, procrastination, fucking bullshit that's gonna keep you from getting it fucking done. 100%. It never works out that way. And the reason why is because I see it all the time where people get caught up hanging around with the wrong crew, and they were like, you know what, let's put it in a gym context real quick, okay? I don't want to fucking be eating like shit because I'm trying to get in shape for this summer, right? And your homies, they don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I mean? They're trying to eat fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and drink fucking beer while we're watching the UFC fight. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, fuck, dude, you know what I mean? You're too weak to be able to say no to the chicken wings, to the blue moons. You know what I'm saying? So you still ignorantly decide to go knowing that you're gonna be way too fucking weak to say no, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example, right, of like, okay, you know what, I appreciate the invite, guys, and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? I can't go through this year because I'm already set out to do what the fuck I said I was gonna do. I said I was gonna get in shape this year, and on top of that, that's just one example, okay? There's so many other reasons which I'm gonna explain, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself real quick and how this applies to me, especially to me, because number one, I used to struggle a lot with substance abuse. I was always addicted to drugs, smoking, drinking, so I would hang out around a bunch of people who would partake in that, okay? I literally would be feeling FOMO all the time, right? Anytime I would see my old buddies like going out, like, oh, and whenever I decided to start doing something like this, all of a sudden all the opportunities just come out of nowhere. It's like, bro, where were all these parties at and all of these turnips at when I was still fucking, partaking in it? You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a reason why that is because you're gonna get motherfucking tested. You're gonna get held to your word. You're like, oh shit, Gilly's gonna stop drinking. He's gonna stop doing drugs. He's gonna stop smoking. Bet. Well, let us do that shit every single fucking day and see if he fucking cracks. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I decided I don't want to do that shit no more. I decided that I want to literally have a better life. I want to literally be successful. I want to be the best version of myself. And obviously, if you're partaking in vices, if you're drinking and smoking and doing drugs and shit like that, bro, that's going to get in the way. And I'm never going to be able to achieve that if I kept doing it, And what's the number one triggers? Being around the environment where you got all the fucking tools to go fuck your shit up and right in front of you, And I had no rooms where I could go and be offered tools to better me. I didn't, bro. I literally didn't. I had to go outsource a mentor to be introduced into a community and first off create an individual who was free of all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And the minute I created that person, I started to attract myself a lot of people who were on the same thing, And so anyways, that I had to go outsource that, And so that's the reason why I wouldn't say cut off, because if I see all these guys who I'm super cool with to this day out in public, bro, they know it's nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? It's straight love, especially with me and with them, They'd be like, hey, what's happening? You know what I mean? They're going to be like, fuck, it's so good to see you, etc., But as far as that, that's just what we go, It isn't going to be, hey, Gilly, let's slide to the fucking bar this weekend, bro. There's gonna be like guys pulling up to downtown or whatever because they're having a fucking birthday or whatever the shit might be, you know what I'm saying? And so the reason that is because they respect it now. In the beginning, they were like the first people that were like, you know what, bro? This guy's tripping, you know. We'll see after 1 week. We'll see after 2 weeks, bro, where he's gonna be at, if he's still sticking to his fucking word and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why you need to stick to your fucking word and separate all these fucking people in the beginning is to not only to prove it to yourself, but it's gonna close that fucking door for all that shit to start creeping in your life, to start tempting you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna be like, hey, for good old time's sake, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that shit. You can still do this, you can still do that, you can still partake in all this bullshit and still go after what you're going for. You know what I'm saying? But obviously we know that's not the fucking case. We know that's not fucking true. You know what I mean? So after I decided that just, you know, I'm gonna remove myself from these environments and I'm gonna put myself in rooms with people that are gonna fucking help me and actually, you know, offer me a way to get better every single day. And so that's when shit really started fucking changing. I was like, all right, cool, bet. There's actually people that aren't just fucking off their life and, you know, offering me ways to elevate, you know what I mean? And that right there, bro, I'm telling you, is the reason why you need to separate yourself amongst your peers. Because if you just keep yourself in the same room with motherfuckers who aren't elevating, bro, you're not gonna elevate. Promise you, promise you, promise you, promise you, you know? And I hear it all the time. Well, that's not true. What about all the people who make it out the hood and bring all their people up with you? I want you to think about this shit real quick. Think about any fucking successful individual who has made it and stuff like that, or has any type of success. They got exposed in a room, or they were exposed to an environment or a way of thinking or a person who wasn't in the spot where all that bullshit was at. You know, maybe they took a trip somewhere and they got in a room with a bunch of high level individuals and they were like, damn, and they come back to where their daily environment is at and they're like, bro, this ain't, y'all don't know what y'all are missing out on. You know what I mean? Anytime that there's any person that has some type of measure of success, is because they got exposed to something bigger than what they already know, bigger than something that bigger than something that they've been involved in for a long time. You know, and I'm one of those people who I've traveled to Miami with my mentor and got in a place where I was like, what the fuck, like the world operates like this, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit, you know, like people operate different. I come back over here to California and I'm just like, man, listen, my day-to-day environment is completely sleep. They ain't moving like that, you know? But that's the importance of keeping people around you who are either super elevated compared to you, or people who are at least trying to elevate at the same level as you, you know? Because you don't want to be hanging around people who are going to be holding you down every single day when you know that you're trying to change yourself, you know? That's the best way I can describe it, you know? So yeah, after I caught a glimpse of Miami and came back to California, I was like, man, bro, I'm like, y'all don't even know what's going on out there to the people that haven't been exposed to, fuck, dude. If you want to get, you know, you want to like feel small, go put yourself in a room with motherfuckers that are just fucking so unreachable compared to you, just to remind you how much fucking work you have to do, you know? And that's what I'm trying to say. Literally, that's the whole point of this video. It's like, dude, a lot of the times we think we're killing it in life, that we think we're doing good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm making good money. I'm in good shape. I'm in a good spot in my life compared to who? Who the fuck are you comparing that shit to? Because I can guarantee you, if you're comparing that shit amongst your peers who aren't doing nothing for themselves, of course you're gonna be the fucking man. You're easily gonna be thinking that you're killing it, you're best off. Or if you're comparing yourself to your fucking family who literally cross the border to fucking be here and you're first generation, of course you're killing it compared to them. You know what I mean? They don't have an education. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to fucking like operate a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like the whole point is if you're always comparing yourself to motherfuckers who are down here, yeah, it's gonna look like you're killing it, you know. But that's how motherfuckers who are up here are looking down at you like you ain't shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got nothing going for you, bro. That's where you're at. That's barely where you're at, and you're calling that like you're calling it some type of measure of success. Is crazy. It's honestly crazy, you know. So what should you do? What you should do is literally respectfully just don't say shit to nobody. You don't need to be like those people on fucking Twitter or Instagram. It's like, all right, guys, I'm not gonna be on social media. This social media shit is weird. All right, I'm taking a break from it because I gotta lock in on me. Da 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 da. And then you see that motherfucker on fucking TikTok the next week, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to make this public service announcement to people who literally do not give a fuck about what you got going on, because you probably don't got nothing going on, and that's probably the reason why you want to take a break from social media. All right, all you need to do is just focus on you. If someone invites you to go somewhere, my best advice is not to say the reason why you can't go. It's like perfect scenario right here. When I'm at a fucking baby shower or I'm at a party or some shit for whatever reason, most of the time it's because my wife made me go and we're there for her family or whatever the case. And someone's like, hey, you want a beer, bro? I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm good, dog. You feel me? The rookie mistake to do is, nah, man, I don't drink. Oh, shit. Now you just open the fucking can of worms, and now you got this fucking alcoholic fucking literally busting your balls about, whoa, 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 you don't drink. What the fuck? Why don't you drink? Da, da, da. And now you're just gonna go down this whole rabbit hole with motherfuckers. All right, they're gonna be like, nah, like, nah, man, come on, you gotta drink one, at least one. You know, they're gonna start fucking hammering you down and shit. And if you're not on your P's and Q's, you haven't gotten that fucking habit cemented into you, bro. Dude, you're gonna fucking get cracked. You're gonna get your shit literally pieced the fuck up, and you're gonna be fucking 6 Modelo's down by the time you fucking even get to cut the cake at the baby shower, bruh. All right? Don't tell motherfuckers your fucking vision and shit like that, because they're gonna fucking do everything they can to get in the way from it and try and test your ass. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just be like, nah, bro, I don't drink. You know, people offer you cake, people offer you all this shitty ass food. All you gotta be is like, nah, bro, I'm good. Honestly, I just don't want none, you know? And keep the reason why to yourself. It's like motherfuckers try to ask me, hey, let's go smoking shit. And be like, nah, bro, I can't. That's it. That's all you gotta say. You don't gotta be like, I don't smoke no more. You know what I mean? After a while, after a couple I can'ts, after a couple I don't want to's, a couple no's, they're gonna get the fucking memo. It's like, you know what? I ain't seen Buddy drink or smoke ever in a long time. You know, probably doesn't smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers aren't that stupid. They get the fucking point, you know? But you want to be day 3 of not smoking, not drinking, eating healthy, and, you know, focus on your higher purpose. And you want to tell the whole fucking world. It's like the fucking vegans, bro. It's like, oh, I'm a vegan. It's like the CrossFitter vegan, bro. It's like, oh, I do CrossFit. I do vegan. And nobody fucking asked. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. It's straight up like that, you know? It's like, hey, I don't want a cake. Or the worst part is when they say, oh, he doesn't do that. You know, he scales everything. You know, fuck, dude. It's the most annoying thing, bro. That's why you just gotta be, I wouldn't even put myself in those rooms, bro, if you guys aren't ready, bro. Don't do it, y'all. Avoid these fucking scenarios, avoid these situations until you know you're 100% locked the fuck in, and that's just normal to you now. And anybody who doesn't do that shit isn't normal. 99% of the world is not normal. These guys are fucked, straight up, you know? The 1% of people being normal and being normal is so looked down upon that we're the weird ones. We're the weird ones because we wake up early. We're the weird ones because we go to the gym. We're the weird ones because we don't drink because we don't fucking eat bullshit, you know. Apparently being like a fucking a badass motherfucker is weird nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's fucking ridiculous, guys, you know. And that's why I just don't listen. I'm married. I've been married for 6 years. I've been with my wife since I was 15 and a half. We've been living together. We've been living together since I was 15 and a half. I'm 24 now. I have 2 kids. I actually have my 3rd baby on the way, okay? I genuinely don't have time to be kicking it with the bros like that, you know? I'd much rather spend that time in the fucking home with my 2 kids, with my wife. I'd rather spend that going to the movies with my kids, with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'd much rather be spending my time that I have free doing that than I do be like, hey babe, I'm actually gonna go here, you know what I'm saying, because I want to go hang out or some shit like that. Like, fuck no, bro. I really don't. I genuinely don't. There's never nothing good going on over there. There's nothing going good over any place I can't bring my kids or my wife to. I personally should not be there. Straight up, you know. That's damn near how I operate, all right? So, and honestly, bro, that's how it's been moving for like 2 years now, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, should you guys separate yourself amongst your peers? Yes. Should it be fucking hella dissing them and shit like that? No. Be respectful, because these guys one day might need your fucking help. And you're going to be the fucking person to do it. You know what I mean? So don't be over here saying, hey, fuck you guys. You guys been fake all the time. And, you know, don't do it. Don't do that. All right? Nobody likes that. Don't be a fucking shithead about it, okay? All you got to do is just focus on you. If people ask you to partake in the shit that they got going on and it's not going to fucking help you out with what you're trying to do, just respectfully say, hey, man, you know, I don't got time to do that, bro. You know, my bad. I wish I could. Honestly, I wish I could, but, you know, I can't. So, you know, maybe next time. You know damn well next time ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're inviting them into your world and you're like, hey, you trying to come work out at 5:30 in the morning? You know, that's a real homie right there. They're like, hey, you know, you trying to go to church with me this Sunday? That's a real fucking homie right there. It's like, hey, bro, you know, you trying to come to this this event, you know, it's about personal development. That's a real motherfucking homie right there, bro. Motherfuckers who tell you to stop drinking, to stop smoking, we always hate those guys. Those guys actually care, and they might not seem like it, but, you know, that's probably the best advice you probably have ever gotten, you know, and who knows how long. All you've been hanging around is people who are just offering you shit to ruin yourself with, you know. It's crazy, and we call those people our buddies. We call those people our family. You know what I'm saying? We'd be ready to ride for those motherfuckers. You know, they probably ain't ready to ride for you though. You know, so I mean, hell yeah. So just wanted to say that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys could learn from that. You know, a lot of this information that I say could be really life-changing and shit, you know. So all you got to do is just go apply it, you know, straight up, y'all. All right, so stay tuned for the next video. Let's get it.